baby.
I'm dying.
That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
Talking about what's up, everybody? Kicking it stateside, back another Saturday Premier League, rolling along here in the year 2021. Kicking it stateside, A2D Radio, Adam Modick, Brian Wheeler. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, brother? It's been a great start to the morning so far. Very eventful, exciting morning of football. And
I know when you text me in the morning that something amazing has gone down. But yeah, that's a little teaser, I guess, for later. It's good news for Arsenal fans out there.
Yes,
that a certain person wants to get away from the club, and it seems like that's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen. It's time. It's not even like he's been a cancer. Like, you can't even say he's been, because he hasn't even been with the team since March of last year. But just that it's still there. It was always a presence, and that presence is going to be gone. And I feel like it's time. That's like an official sign of moving on to a new era of Arsenal football and getting back to where we need to be.
Yeah,
finally.
Again, like you said, it wasn't exactly like a cancer per se.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. That's what it is, because he was one of my favorite players. You know, there was a lot that I loved about his game on the Germany side, on the Arsenal side, but it just turned into what it turned into, and it needed to end, and it's over. It seems like, unless some crazy shit happens, but it seems like it's finally here. So let's go, baby.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he could see the writing on the wall that he was pretty much out of favor, and there's no turning back, it seemed like. Even if you're not in the 18 at this point, it's time. It's time to move on.
I mean, he wasn't in the 25 for the Premier League or Europa. Like, that tells you something. Like, Arteta, it was over. It's been over. It's just now it's finally happening. He had two choices, basically. DC was sounding very possible, but the team he grew up rooting for in Turkey ends up becoming where he goes.
Yeah.
So
seems like he wanted to finish his career out and the homeland, at least half his homeland.
Yeah, his true homeland.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, again, the guy was great to watch when he was motivated to play. But it seems like over the last few years, it didn't matter who was in charge,
right?
Whether it was Arsene, Emery, or Arteta, there's something missing there. So,
right, yeah,
I think
there's a little bit of a disconnect, I guess, from the past few years. It seems like, but yeah, Mesut moving on.
To a guy that's moving on in bigger and better ways. Our main, one of our main things today, obviously, is Mr. Rooney hanging it up.
Yeah, calling it a career and
starting a new one.
Taking up that Derby County job on a pretty much a full-time basis now. So I guess that comes to the poll question. Does people out there think that Wayne Rooney will be a top 5 English player of all time? It was a question I posed to everybody out there. I guess you'd have to look down. I mean, I know there's a shit ton of really good English players. Some that you probably wouldn't even know. But I would say he's got to be pretty close to top 5.
Yeah, I guess depending on how if you break it down by era, depending on how you would do so. He's definitely in that talk, like between 80s, 90s, 2000s, like that. It just he's one of the best,
absolutely,
from England to play that game. So when he was at the top of his game, he was definitely. There's very few guys that can ever say it, but there was one moment where he was the best player in the world.
Yeah. And
so whenever you hit that status, even if it's for 1 year, then you got to be in that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to say, he started his career out at 16, and by the time he got to like 30, everybody thought he was in his like 40s. And his appearance doesn't help because he's looked old and bald basically when he was in his like early 20s.
Yeah, he looks like a, I don't know, like a boxer type build, like you wouldn't. Yeah, you don't want to have a barroom brawl with Wayne Rooney. I can promise you.
His illustrious career over the years, he starts out with Everton, then he moves to United where he had so much success under Sir Alex Ferguson. Then he goes back to Everton for, I think, a year. For one season. And then obviously
then DC.
Makes the switch to DC. Has pretty good 2 years over here in the States, but I think he got in that altercation in DC with a cop when he was pissed drunk that kind of started.
Again, you don't want to get into a barroom brawl with Wayne Rooney.
I think that was what started the ball rolling to take him and his family back to the UK. And then obviously he got called by Derby County to play because he was still only like mid-30s, maybe 33, 34. And he's like, I got a couple of years probably left in me. It's Wayne Rooney. Why not bring him in? What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. Now he's your head coach.
And now he's the head coach. And, for your team to start a career in FIFA. It's a great question.
Well, we can talk about that. Give me a minute and we'll talk about that. I'll give you some options. I'm going to have some questions for you depending on how you want to proceed. Like are you up for a challenge? Or are you trying to build some shit from the ground up and like over go above and beyond and try and build a team and get them up into a new league? Or are you trying to take an already solid team and just win some games? Depends on how you want to play.
That is the question because that's usually what I do in FIFA. I've been doing that. I usually take a team in League 2, in the 4th tier and try to get them all the way up to the Premier League. That's the challenge. If that's basically what Brian's saying, that would be a good challenge to get them all the way up to the Prem is your end goal to take Crowley Town or something like that up to the Prem. And it's awesome too. I took Ipswich all the way up to the Prem.
It's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. A lot of mixing and matching, and a lot of buying MLS guys as well. Yeah. But it's fun. If you want to build it up, that would be my my suggestion, Ralph. You take a League 2 side and pick a team, maybe a team that you like or their colors or a name specifically, and just make
sure they have some kind of budget.
Yeah. Because then that's an extra challenge if you take on a team that has no transfer budget and you have to still win games.
Yeah,
that's a negative.
There is a cheat that it's not really a cheat because they give it to you. I think you get 2 or 3 the entire all the careers you play, but you can have a financial takeover, and you can have some billionaire come buy your team and then give you all this money. But
you could also get fired if you don't do well. So please be careful. Don't think you're ever safe.
Yeah. So on that note, if he wants to build it up, I might even go with I might go League 1. I would just go Championship.
Just get it.
Maybe take one of the teams that was just relegated. See if you can get them back to the Prem.
I would say
Something like-
don't do Norwich. That's probably too easy.
You think Norwich is too easy?
Yeah. It's like the same.
Watford.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could build Watford up and make them relevant, that would be success. I would be impressed.
That'd be pretty good. You'd be the 6th coach in their history, Ralphie.
Yeah. Be their 6th coach this season. Are you kidding me?
Try to get 2 Ralphs in the Premier League again. You're going to have to battle it out with Mr. Hassenhudel.
Or are you starting with a player? That's the other question. I didn't ask that. Are you starting as a coach or with a... Because there is a difference, too. If you're starting as a player, then you could start with, like... You could still start at a bigger club. Because they'll just loan you out. And you'll end up playing on a different team for, like, the first year, probably.
That's always fun, too. It depends.
Yeah.
It depends where you want to go with it.
Yeah.
Good questions.
I like to play as a coach because I like to play with everybody.
Oh, he's a coach.
Yeah.
You get to make the moves yourself. You're in
Go
charge.
Go with Bristol.
Bristol
Go
Rovers.
with like.
Frank checking in. He's in the mix for all time. Depends on the people's list and how many members of the 66 World Cup team are in there. In the past 25 teams, the 3 Lions absolutely agree. I mean, he's got to be in that. For me, he's got to be right outside, if not number 5, because, again, there's such a history with the English team, at least back in the day. Maybe not so much as of the last, 8-10 years. They haven't been exactly, like, top tier, but they're getting
when
back.
You're competing with guys that only have black and white photos, that's when it starts to be hard to say because it's just so many generations of English football and so many great players in each generation. But it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, what was it? Bobby Charlton maybe would be in that discussion for top 5 all-time English player.
Yeah.
I saw a list that said David Beckham in the top 5 all-time.
Yeah.
What was another one? Gary Lineker, Alan Shearer, Stuart Pearce, Ashley Cole,
Steven Gerrard,
Michael Owen, Stevie G, Gary Lineker, yep, Brian Robson, Beckham, Peter Shilton, Bobby Moore, and Sir Bobby Charlton in the top 15.
Yeah,
but it's a good debate to have. I mean, you got to go back. You got to go way back in the day to even consider. Half these guys are commentators.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, Sir Bobby, I would say, is up there. I think Beckham might be top 5 for what he's done to go to different countries and perform at a high level like that.
If you talk about what you've continued to do for just the game as itself, Beckham's one of the number ones because everything he's done for the game and expanding the game and now bringing a team here and trying to actually make it relevant and make people watch the sport here. So that's great.
Lord Walker chiming in. By the way,
he will be joining us.
We're going to get Lord Walker when we start talking about our Premier League selections for this week. The big daddy of them all tomorrow. We got Man United versus good old Liverpool.
Yes.
In an early battle for first place here.
Crazy to say. Who would have thought?
Yeah, and we'll get our takes on what we think of the game. I'm just not sold on Man United right now. That's all I'm going to say at this point, but that's kind of how I feel. Just not sold on them yet. George Best, Eddie says. Number 1.
Yes, See, I like how Lord Walker went with modern era because that's how the only way I was going to be able to look at it.
Stevie G. Oh, he's putting Frankie, Super Frank, in there.
Yeah, you gave your boys some love.
Alan Shearer. They said Alan Shearer was about the best. Stuart Pearce. Ashley Cole's top 5. Rooney at number 7. That's pretty safe to say. All time. Lord Walker did do more of the modern.
Yeah.
You got to put Stevie G in the modern one. Absolutely. And Ashley Cole, he was a beast in his prime. What's up, Chrome?
Thanks for popping in.
Thanks for popping off.
Popping in, popping off.
What else do we got today to talk about? We got Prem back. I mentioned that.
We're going to talk some men's national team.
Yeah.
That's on the hot list.
Since there's so many Yanks doing so well across the pond, figure that's a good topic to have probably.
And it looks like a few more might be going.
Yeah. Aronson got his first start at a Salzburg scrimmage, and he scored.
Nice.
So the young American Philadelphia Union Aronson getting on the right side of things. Mark McKenzie got introduced by Genk this week. Soon to follow a Mark McKenzie Genk jersey for myself.
Nice.
It's happening. And they have a U.S. custom jersey, Genk jersey, just for McKenzie.
Really?
Yeah. Talk about trying to sell the American to your American audience.
Smart business.
I mean, the world's taking notice that we got some players. You see Jose Mourinho saying a little some good things about the U.S. team recently.
It's crazy, huh?
I mean, when Jose's catching your eye,
what's he want to be a head coach?
I don't even know if I mean, of course I would
Bro.
take him on the U.S. team, but that would be a huge step down for himself.
Could you imagine?
Jose Mourinho, coach 2026 World Cup.
Wow.
It's like, where have we gone as a nation when we have like one of the top 5 managers of all time coming in to coach our boys up in a critical World Cup at home in your own backyard in the U.S. You can't make that up. And it's never too early to think 6 years ago in the future. Sorry, 5.
Yeah, he's gonna run out of things to do. He's gonna get tired at Tottenham, definitely.
Speaking of that, we did have a game already this morning, the breakfast game. We saw West Brom beat Wolves, which is
the Baggies.
strange. Which Wolves now is looking, I don't even know.
It was a good game.
Yeah. I mean, Big Sam, again, he's never been relegated.
Yeah.
And he's trying to keep these West Brom boys up in the Prem. Can he do it? Can he live up to his word and his reputation to get West Brom out of the basement-ish? Because now you got Sheffield winning a game too.
Yeah, it's amazing. What a week it's been. Yeah, the Blades finally
they're off the schneid and they get their W. First win of the season.
Newcastle. Good old Newcastle.
It had to be Newcastle. Real shit.
Yeah, right. Had to be Newcastle. But no, that's kind of why I threw the Irish jersey on today too. Callum Robinson had a pretty solid performance today, drawing the 2 pens. Played a good game, so
hells yeah.
Good for West Brom. I know last week I was talking shit on Big Sam, which was well deserved, but
you did say he could come get these hands.
No, I definitely was not trying to throw hands with Big Sam.
Yeah.
I'll talk some shit, but I'm not.
Towering figure.
Yeah, I am fighting Big Sam.
What else we got? We got 2 games going on currently.
Welcome back, Mikel Antonio.
Mikel Antonio gets on the board. Both games are at halftime. We got West Ham hosting Burnley 1-0. Mikel Antonio with the goal in the 9th minute.
First game back.
Also, we have Brighton and Leeds, with Brighton up 1-0 at halftime. Going on the road, getting a goal from Maupay. Mr. Neil Maupay getting on the score sheet. And 1-0 at half for the Gulls. A little bit of a surprise. If Leeds loses this match, are you starting? If you're a Leeds fan, are you starting to get a little concerned at all? They haven't looked as strong as they started out.
Yeah. I don't know if concerned is necessarily, but I wouldn't be thrilled about it. They started off so strong. It was, but I think they started off strong enough that looking at the table here, they're still pretty safe. I mean, talk about Brighton. Brighton's just the team outside of the relegation zone, so they're sitting in 17th at 14 points, and Leeds is still at 23. So I mean that's a 3-game. That's 9 points. That's pretty significant,
right?
But I mean, yeah, you don't want to be dropping game after game, and you definitely don't want to be dropping games to teams where you really should be probably beating them. But I don't know. I think they're gonna need to do something here.
What's up?
I think Leeds is going to need to do something. They're going to have to make some kind of move here at the deadline. They're going to have to add somewhere because it has been a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, I mean we're still in January, so again, I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point on the show. Any transfer news you hear, any rumors. Obviously, we still got silly season in full force, so we'll see if anybody's on the move again. January is not exactly the month where you're seeing too much movement because a lot of teams want to sit still and
a lot of loans.
Yeah, a lot of loans. Or in the MLS's case, when your season ends, you get to start up anew basically at your club in Europe, which is on their winter break, which would be a perfect time to, slide in there in January in the fresh new season or the new year.
Yeah.
Lord Walker, he's not concerned. Not concerned. Leads 12th middle of the pack, 4 teams. Yeah. Yeah. I was wondering out of curiosity if they would be just going in. They're sweating a little bit. They just haven't been as strong as they were. I mean, you never want to lose to Brighton. No one wants to lose to Brighton. Graham Potter's got them. They are. I think they might have taken the crown of the Draw Kings because they're always teams to draw 1-1 or 0-0. That's kind of how it's been the last 3 years that they've been up. Yeah, they got 8, which definitely is leading the Prem. What's up, Rob? 8 draws. Yeah, speaking of too, just talking about some movement, and we were talking about the potential of a few more of our U.S. guys heading over. There's been talks that I guess there's some interest in Reynolds from Juve. Yep. So Brian Reynolds. Weston's over there talking his boy Brian Reynolds up and trying to get him over there. So that could be going down. Jordan Morris and Swansea possibly. I did see that. So that's a big move exciting. For him. That could be there you go, Ralphie. You could grab Swansea when Jordan Morris makes the move there.
And
There you
can
go.
use a U.S. player, and you can try to get Swansea back to the Prem.
I mean,
The
they're
Welsh
already they're already doing pretty good this year.
Yeah, they are. They were good last year. They were pretty good last year. So
Yeah, they got
they lost Ryan Brewster, and they're still doing pretty good. So
they lost like all their scoring and still playing good ball.
mm-hmm.
I'd like to see the Swans back up.
Yeah, it's always fun when the Swans are in the Prem.
But yeah, a little Yanks abroad action. Figure it's like a monthly segment where you just kind of update everybody on what's going on, any moves, how some of the guys are playing or not playing. Still got Zachy Steff. Obviously, he's not going to be starting anymore with Ederson off the COVID list, but I think he made a nice impression, I would say, for Pep to maybe throw him out there every once in a while.
He didn't do anything that made you think he can't play at that level.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't one of those moves where you're like, oh man, that like he played well. He wasn't overwhelming. He didn't really face maybe a ton of tough looks in the time, but he still did what he needed to do and was the winning goalie. So in the games that he played, so he looks solid. That's a good thing for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to get your confidence rolling, especially hopefully we're going to start seeing World Cup qualifying games. I think in March they were talking about. Again, COVID, we don't really know. I doubt they would have much travel with like teams coming into the United States if they're even allowed.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
I don't know if it's even a possibility because of whatever sanctions but doesn't UEFA have enough money that they could pick a neutral site and start having like bubbles for these tournaments?
Possibly.
Like, I mean, is that an option? Like, why? Again, just looking for a job. UEFA. I got an idea for you every week. Like, it worked. It worked in all the sports that we did it with. It worked. And they could take all these international teams and they can have their qualifiers and they can do what they need to do. Pick a place and just get it done. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You feel like there's enough money in it where they could do that, but it's like I don't know what guys like the hockey and basketball players hated the bubble because they were away from their families for like 4 months and they couldn't do anything. They were literally just like go to the rink, practice, find some entertainment to do. Then you play a game the next day and you just go right back to it. It's just I don't know, especially in soccer. There's a lot more prima donnas in soccer than there are in probably any sport. So I don't know if some of these big dogs would be like, yeah, I'm gonna bubble up. They're like, hell no, I want a penthouse, I want this and that,
you could run through all your qualifiers in like a 1 month tournament.
Yeah.
You could do everything. You can consolidate it all down into just like everybody's got to buy in for 1 month. You're playing every 2 to 3 days and you're just like you get it all knocked out. But, I hear what you're saying. I know these guys are like but that's what you get paid to do. It's your job.
You would think they would maybe make a sacrifice, but I just don't see how soccer players would be okay with bubbling up for 3 months or whatever it would take.
MLS did it. Our soccer players did it.
They did. And they were in the most magical place on earth.
They were.
In Disney.
So go back there. It's all set up still.
There's enough fields and stuff for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can get television rights, somebody to cover
and
that.
They have Epcot Center, so a lot of those teams will feel at home.
Yeah.
They can go hang out in their own little section.
Right. They could drink around the world by themselves.
Yeah, it'll be great. You got Germany, you got France, bring them all in. Chrome will be there. You know Chrome will be there.
He'll be our on-site reporter.
Yeah, no doubt.
He'll be our Rachel Nichols in the bubble.
Fantastic.
The best of both worlds. You gotta love it. But yeah, that's kind of what we're gonna rock today. Lord Walker will be joining us.
Very shortly, yes.
Very shortly. And we'll talk a little bit about the Man U big Liverpool game tomorrow. We got a pretty good one later today. We got Southampton and no. Is it? Yes. Southampton and Leicester is later today, which is a big game for a top 4 battle here. Hampton Hampton trying to move it on up.
Yeah. That's a big matchup. That's a big swing right there because if Hampton could be tied with Leicester after that game, or they could be 6 back of them after that game. So,
and again, they got a condensed schedule. They're rolling out. You know, some teams play 2 games in the span of like 3-4 days.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, Chelsea.
Yeah, this has been the weirdest week, dude. Like it's like some teams have played 2, some teams have played 1. It feels like some teams are about to play 3. I don't even know. And Chelsea plays Fulham today too.
Some teams don't even play. Like Everton doesn't play at all this week.
Yeah. They got postponed.
Yeah,
they were supposed to play Monday, I think.
Villa. You know. They're the next team that's getting ravaged by. I know we mentioned it last week, but Villa seems to have still issues with COVID just ripping through their first team, and they were supposed to play, I think Sunday, I think tomorrow, and then that got moved, and I think they were supposed to play on Wednesday then, and then that got moved again. So I don't think we'll see Villa until next weekend.
Yeah, so it's a full postponement at this point.
And they already had games postponed, didn't they?
They were one of the teams. They've only played 15 games.
They're the team.
Some teams have played
with in the beginning of the year when the Manchester clubs greased the pockets again and were like, we need an extra week rest.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Arsenal's played 18 games. Villa's played 15.
And now you're going to have even more of a condensed schedule trying to make those games up.
Yeah. Jackie Grealish got to stop hitting the
he's going out.
The old clubs or whatever he's doing.
He's going out.
Yeah.
He's a wild boy. You can't tame him.
You can't tame him. On or off the pitch.
True. He's hitting parked cars when he's wasted, and he's pulling up to his court dates, having his buddy drive the car up to the front, fooling the paparazzi and reporters, and he sneaks in like the side door. He's living in the future, man. He's smart.
He's a big deal.
Well, not that smart if he's driving drunk, but
well,
street smart, not so much. But yeah,
correct. Sponsors. We gotta
sponsorship.
Get to our sponsors.
The poll sponsor, obviously, our good friend, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy. Check him out. 2 locations. We got Burlington, Cherry Hill. Again, it's in an age where if you're not feeling comfortable going in to see him, you can do a virtual consultation and he'll figure out and give you the best direction on what to do. Again, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Also, we've switched our gutter boys to all campus.
All campus, Ocean City, Boardwalk.
Yeah.
Or online at allcampusoc.com. So for all your
more
all
swag
your sports gear, more swag. Absolutely. Use discount code A2D. You get 15% off all online orders. And if you go there and you actually go to the store, you can go to the store, just wear your mask, do your thing, and mention A2D sent you, and I'm sure the guys there will gladly hook you up as well. So.
Oh, for sure. A little more than 15%, I'm sure. Grease the pockets,
Yeah, just like UEFA. You make that trip out there. I bet those guys will take good care of you.
I'm sure.
Let them know that A2D sent you. Let them know that Kickin' It Stateside sent you. Make a nice trip out of it. Everybody needs to get out of the house. All the bullshit going on right now. Get a nice little drive. Drive down to Ocean City. It's nice in the wintertime as well, as long as the roads are clear.
Gorgeous.
And clear your head a little bit. Go sit by the water.
Oh.
Go get yourself some fresh gear.
Say less.
Everybody needs that. You need that mental break.
Take a little road trip to Ocean City.
Yeah. Mine's usually LBI, but I think I'm going to hit the OC maybe.
Yeah, you got to pick up some new swag.
Yeah, man. Tommy! What's up, buddy? What's up, Poe?
Yes, good morning, everybody. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for popping in.
Hey, guys.
Not 50 degrees today, so I didn't have to say that.
Yeah.
Sun is out, but it's not 50. It was 55 in the city yesterday.
I don't have any sun here. It's a little damp here still this morning.
Really gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we get Lord Walker in here, again, poll question. Since Wayne Rooney, if you missed the beginning of the show, he announced his retirement from playing, but he's going to take on the Derby County, which is in the second tier of England. He's going to be the full-time manager there. With that being said, do you think Wayne Rooney is going to be a top 5 English player of all time? Does he fit in that top 5 range? Is he in the top 10? Is he just outside the top 5? The one, again, some guy in England made up a top 15, and he put Wayne Rooney at number 7. So I think that's a pretty fair. This is all time. I know Lord Walker mentioned the modern era top 5 with the more likes of Gerrard and Ashley Coles and Rooney and Beckham. But obviously, if we're talking all time, I don't think couple of those probably get bounced.
Yeah, everybody moves down a little bit. So
The sliding scale.
Yeah.
But yeah, love to see what you guys think. Let's see.
And Ozil's gone. He's gone. He's going. I'm just gonna periodically say it every 20 minutes this entire day.
Start burning those Ozil jerseys, boys.
I have an Ozil Lego from they made a whole Lego set of the German team that won the World Cup, and I bought the Ozil one individually.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna save it because he did win a World Cup for Germany, and like I said, I loved watching the man play, but it's just time to go.
He looks like a Lego, so that makes sense.
Yeah, he does. He just doesn't look right, man. He just doesn't look, I don't know.
Well, obviously something's going on
healthy.
if he can't even make like the 23-man roster.
Well, he's not our problem anymore. He'll be happy back in Turkey.
Mutual termination, a.k.a. you gots to go.
He'll be hanging out in all the Turkish hookah bars and.
Oh, do it up, baby.
Yeah.
Drink that Turkish coffee. What's up, Gregory?
Yeah. We had that tweet going back with him asking about coffee.
I love how I recently in the A2D platform and in the on the page on the social platforming pages. Why is soccer getting brought into like all these little topics? It's like leave soccer alone. LeBron James starts flopping it like a fish, and it's like, oh, look at this guy. He flops more than a soccer player. It's like, what? Stop.
Well, I did stir it up because I told them not to talk about soccer players anymore after that.
I know. I saw.
Yeah.
And I've seen it
And they
a
still
couple
did.
times this week.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yo,
why you got to bring soccer into this, man? That has nothing to do with anything.
Go back and watch the Wolves game today and go look at when they panned to Raul Jimenez in the crowd and look at the giant scar that's on the side of his head that he's going to have forever now because David Luiz put his head through his skull.
Basically.
Yeah. He'll be back soon. He'll be back soon.
Falcon punched his skull.
Yeah. And actually the kid for what's it called? Wolves scored today. The kid that was filling in for Jimenez.
Fabio Silva.
Even though they took the loss, he finally did get his first Prem game.
Oh, good.
Prem goal. So,
I mean, he's only like 18.
Yeah, 18-year-old. And they said they didn't really plan to play him. Obviously the goal wasn't really to get him in much as far as the Prem goes. There maybe a few cup games, develop him. But with things going on between COVID and losing Jimenez to that injury, he's been thrown in there and gets a goal. So it's big for them.
Good for him. See the ball go in the back of the net a little bit. Give him some confidence as a youngster.
Yeah. It was a nice little back heel pass from Willy Boley.
Willy Boley, what a guy.
Yeah. Willy Boley had a goal too. So the way that game went for Willy Boley gave up the first pen when he fouled Callum Robinson, which was literally on the line of the box. And then later he gets this crazy little backheel pass on a set piece that set up this goal. And then minutes after that, he gets his own goal. And then they still end up losing 3-2 to West Brom. So.
It was the Willy Boley show, but
it was. Good old Willy Boley.
Not exactly for great reasons.
Yeah. Good reasons, bad reasons, all kinds of reasons. That's how the game goes sometimes, though. You could be
You go from the GOAT to
hero to GOAT and vice versa. Real quick.
Real quick. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, tomorrow, again, we got our Sheffield buddies taking on Spursy, looking to win back-to-back games here.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
That'd be an epic. That'd be actually... If Sheffield's going to ride the wave of momentum, this is the time.
Yeah, do it. This is the week. Ride that wave.
To knock Spurs off their little perch.
Yeah, you're home.
You got to play a perfect game, though.
They could do it.
I mean, they're not even playing.
They're
not doing it. They need miraculous things to happen, like red cards like last week, and then some PK. I think, Billy Sharp got a PK last week?
To get a 1-0 win.
That's how they're going to have to do things.
They need the perfect storm to just get a 1-0 win.
And even that was tough.
This is probably a 3-0 Spurs win, unfortunately.
I mean, the form that HK and Sonny are in, I mean, it's hard not to say that HK putting my fantasy team on his back, as they say.
Yeah, and Sonny's doing it for somebody else, too. Who doesn't even really like soccer and likes talking shit to me now because his fantasy team's doing really well. Because of fucking Son, too. Really?
It's been a roller coaster of a ride for the Kickin' It Stateside first fantasy league here.
Yeah.
It's been
fun, though. I'm looking to expand next year. Like we said, we're going to try to get to...
It'd be interesting to see who would want to come back, because I've noticed some people have not been paying attention.
Yeah, I'm sure some will not make the return. Some may not be invited to make the return because lack of attention. But
you might say our boy Eric get relegated from the first.
Yeah.
And Julio might be in trouble.
And I think Eric's actually doing trying. So you gotta keep working.
Yeah, you got to. I'm on the waiver wire. I'm calling people. I'm on the waiver wire big time.
I've been slacking, to be honest, the last couple of weeks, but I need to get back on my team, and I still keep Mendy in there. I've been waiting for him to turn around because De Gea came back, so I don't know when Henderson's playing and not. And the only problem that I have with this league is how early you got to have your shit set by.
Yeah.
That's not right. I got to figure out if that's a setting that I have to change for next year, because that's having to have that shit set by Friday at 3 p.m. is ridiculous, because you have no idea who's playing. You should be able, as long as somebody hasn't played, you should be able to switch them out.
I mean, it's such pretty shitty software that they use for the league.
I believe, right?
Pretty basic. They don't make any real changes. Especially in a COVID year, some people are playing twice this week, and some people are playing 0 times.
Yeah.
But they're still going to go ahead and count your wins and losses for the week. Doesn't matter if you have 2-3 guys. Last week, some people had 3 guys available.
Yeah. For the whole week. Yeah.
That's just, I don't know. It's a shame, because it's really the only real platform that has the fantasy Premier League. If some, my brother, he should just make his own damn thing. He should code the whole thing.
He should,
because
there's a good investment.
Yeah, anything honestly, anything better than what that is that we're doing.
What the current option is, absolutely.
You got to play the market.
Know what you're doing, yeah.
Get in there.
Hell yeah, it's available.
It's available. If you're a computer guy, come talk to us.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, Sunday, City plays Palace. Palace, I think, might be the most boring team on the face of the earth. That Arsenal game made me want to rip my hair out.
They fell right into that stupid trap and played the same boring level of football that Palace did, and I'm very disappointed in that. I've been happy of recent with their play. Obviously, that was another one you got to win. You had to get that win. You got to get a goal. You got to score at least one in that game.
You had the momentum.
Aubameyang, you're still just he's not there. I don't know what's going on.
He's not happy. I know. I've seen this movie play out before with him.
But what are you freaking unhappy about? You got your money.
He secured the bag.
You got everything that you wanted. You got, you were made the face of the team, and since you've been made the face of the team, you've disappeared. What are you not happy about? We're not happy. The fan base is not happy.
Nobody's
Your teammates are not happy. Your coach is not happy. You shouldn't not be happy. Score the ball. You're paid to score the ball. You just got paid a whole lot of money to score the ball. Take over the game. Do something. Do something.
Where's the meme? Do something. Guy poking. Stick.
I know they were missing Kieran Tierney, and I know he's been a big catalyst in their success, but you have to beat Crystal Palace. You have to win that game. You've been on a roll. You've been making progress. It was an opportunity to get into the top 10, and you didn't take that opportunity.
Nope.
Those were the ones you have to win, because they only get harder.
Yeah, I mean, I was almost in tears watching that whole game. It was brutal.
Yeah. And my Arsenal jersey will be here for next show. So.
Oh, good.
I already know my birthday present.
I'm excited.
I love when you're old and you already know your birthday present. So
getting older just is wonderful.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great. What else we got? By the way, did you see Dortmund get a big win last week against Leipzig?
I did.
Boys are back.
Nice. I told you not to panic.
Well, now they're tying Mainz, and they're like in relegation. So back to the good old shitty days.
Well, before we get to the last game on Sunday, and Arsenal does play Monday against Newcastle. Obviously, when we do talk about this game Sunday, we're bringing Lord Walker on. So, real quick on the other poll question about the Bundesliga, since we're talking about it real quick.
Yeah.
I still think yes, and that's not because I'm a Bayern fan. You look at how it's been trending and how they even last year at one point when they kind of fell down a little bit in the table and then they just decided to turn it on. And like we say, you win like 4 in a row, that's 12 points. And if everybody else isn't winning 4 in a row, you're picking up at least usually 3, 4 somewhere in those lines, so the way they can play and go on runs, I would see them still the favorite to win the Bundesliga.
I mean, it's pretty much theirs to lose every year. All the other teams are beating each other up this year, and then it's just letting Bayern just do, okay, you guys are going to beat each other up. I'm just going to see my way to the top, please.
Yeah, and now I think like losing that Polka game is bad news for the rest of the Bundesliga because now I feel like they're really going to be
pissed, huh?
Not. Yeah, because there was starters. I mean, there was. It wasn't like that was like a full B squad. Like they went in to win that game and they didn't. It went to PKs and they lose in PK. Like that's a bad loss on what's been a really good run of recent. So that could fire them up and that could mean trouble for the rest of the Bundesliga.
And also now the field's wide open for the German Cup.
Yeah, it is, which is big. It's big.
Even though,
Bayern, nice for everybody else.
Always win it, but they're usually up there.
No, they're usually at least in the Final Four.
But to get knocked out in the 16,
yeah, that's
to Holstein Kiel.
Yeah, like that was more the thing. It wasn't just the knockout; it's where you got knocked out, who you got knocked out by. But again, Champions League's coming up. They got big fish to fry. So they have other things going on, but at the same time,
yeah,
no loss like that is good. You still don't want to get knocked out. You want to make the Final Four at least of a tournament like that.
They're still going to win the league.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
With that lineup, especially if Dortmund's beating Leipzig like they did,
yeah,
it's not good.
No.
It's not good. But, yeah, I still say it's not panic time quite yet for a team that pretty much won every trophy that they possibly could last season.
Yeah. Literally.
I just thought that was funny how they're starting to come back down to reality. I mean, David Alba's on his way out. I mean, starting to get a little long in the tooth, some of these guys.
Man, they'll fix it. You know that.
Yeah, they'll buy like Luka Jovic or something from Madrid, who's gone back to Frankfurt on loan because he wasn't getting any PT at Madrid. It's crazy.
Hopefully that opens the door for Richards to start playing more too. That'd be great.
Yeah. And Boateng's probably, I don't know, he's probably got a year or two left.
Yeah. He's probably out there soon.
Slide in. Our young Americans, speaking of the Yanks abroad.
Yeah.
And then I guess then the new week starts up again on Tuesday with all the games. So there's no stopping the Prem right now. They're trying to fit all these games in and think of a way to somehow maximize all these, get games on TV, fill in spots that Villa left because they're, damaged by COVID. And it's a crazy mess, but I guess that's kind of what you had to brace for in this year. For anything to go, anything could go wrong. And, I mean, they're lucky only one team really has gotten super duper hit. Obviously, Fulham's gone through it. Liverpool went through it a little bit as well, but I think everybody's trying to just get through the damn season unscathed.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be the number one goal at this point.
Gotta be.
Just to just stay healthy.
It's going to be a war of attrition. It's like in every sport this season, the most healthy team is going to be there at the top at the end of the season. Oh no, did we lose Brian? I swear, every time around this time, every show, he usually conks out. His internet gets all fucked up. But we're going to bring on Lord Walker here pretty soon. We're going to go over this Liverpool City or Man United game. Yeah, right, Eddie? Every time around this, I swear, every 11:30, fly out.
I don't know what it is. It's fucking everybody in Hamilton, New Jersey wants to get on the internet at 11:30 on a Saturday morning because they're all lazy asses are just getting out of bed, checking all their DMs from the night before. Everybody's online. Maybe they're watching us. I don't know. Maybe that's killing all our bandwidth. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
It is just, my son's not even here, just sucking it up with his video games. So I can't even blame it on him right now. I have it turned off on my phone. Like,
can't even blame the little one.
Internet gate. That's all it is. Internet gate.
I swear, we got to get you a shirt that says Internet Gate.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm still trying to find. I haven't heard back from my guy with the scarves. I think he
just dipped on you?
I think he just dipped on me.
Oh, man.
He said he was going to have some designs like whenever 5 days after he emailed me, and I was like, sweet, let's get the ball rolling. And then he never got back to me.
Huh. Oh.
Now we have to go elsewhere. We really should go. We really should do something with Philly Drinkers and Alex, like a scarf.
Yeah. Yes. I think that can be done. We'll just let's just go with.
Like, I don't know what material it would cost for an actual scarf. Like, obviously, there's real nice wool ones. There's crappy ones that I've gotten at Union games. But
yeah, honestly, like these, I mean,
those are sweet. Those are legit.
They weren't bad. Like, if this could be you got to be able to tug on them a little bit and them not fall apart. And
it's got to be put through the ringer. It's got to be put through a couple tests.
Yeah.
Rain, sleet, snow. Maybe spill some beer or coffee on it.
Right? I think there is on here.
Some coffee stains.
Yeah.
From the good old days at Rhodes Field or whatever the hell it was called.
Yes, it was Rhodes Field.
Damn it, I miss those days and doing stuff.
I know. Of actually being able to do stuff.
Yeah. Actually work in something that I want to be doing.
Yeah.
That was fun while it lasted.
That was. I got good information on.
Did you ever get your money?
Oh yeah, I got my fine. Oh yeah, did you?
No.
No?
Not from the last time.
Oh, I did. I just kept messaging and messaging and messaging.
From the winter ones, I sent him an original one back in March or February before it shut down, and then Justin never hit me back.
Yeah, right after it shut down, I just kept coming at him because I was like, somebody's in there
I know that's what
working.
I have to do because he's just
oh yeah,
forgets
everything. Who knows? Who knows what if he even? I don't know. People's positions now have been so changed and all that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's why I just kept hammering away because I was like, yo, you owe me money. I like the experience and the resume too, but I needed the money. Yeah, give me the money.
I don't know. It was only I didn't work the crazy amount in the winter. It was only 3 something, but still.
Yeah, still.
I wrote him a nice little note too. Didn't even acknowledge it. It's fucked up.
Oh man,
It was a nice, heartfelt thank you.
yeah. Everybody's been reacting different to all this. So who knows?
It was a bad time for him, I guess. I don't know.
It might have been like, "Fuck you, man! I didn't get any money. You don't get any money."
Yeah, at the time he was probably freaking out because that's right when it shut down.
Yeah, well,
It was a weird time.
I worry about I mean, we all got problems.
Problems.
I need to get paid. Yeah.
Oh Lord, sorry. I needed to ask. I'm sure nobody cares, but I digress. We'll bring Lord Walker on here. Let me email him.
Yeah, let's get him on here. Speaking of Watford earlier, Watford's up 2-0 on Huddersfield right now. Tom Cleverley and João Pedro with goals.
Oh, João Pedro.
João Pedro.
I'm going to forward this to Mr.
So why I'm hearing an echo.
Lord Walker.
Norwich running away with the championship table here. Swansea's in second, by the way.
Are
We were
they?
talking about Swansea earlier, so that move for Jordan Morris would be even more lucrative because if they can continue to play well and he goes there, they could be coming to the Prem, and now we could have Jordan Morris and Pulisic in the Prem.
Woo-wee.
That would be nice.
I would love to have J-Mo. What is that he's saying?
I don't know. I think he wanted to say
don't know.
something about Norwich.
Norwich and Bournemouth?
Typical typical yo-yo club. Yes. Just up, down, up, down.
I mean, they have the same roster as they did last season, so nothing's really changed.
Yeah, I think they lost like maybe one or two players. I think Rashard Lewis, I think he left. He went somewhere. But other than that,
I mean, they still have Pookie, Cantwell, Buendia, which is like
yeah, they still have Tim Krul. They still have Tim Krul in goal.
big time.
You have to change that. When you get back up, I'm just Norwich. Listen to me right now. If you can continue this, and if or when you get back up to the Premier League, please, love Tim Krul. Timmy, but it's time. Let somebody else take the reins. Go get a goalie. Because you're just going to be right back in the championship if you run Timmy out there.
What you got against Timmy Krul?
He's not a Premier League goalie at his age.
No, he's not. Definitely not.
He's not.
Definitely not.
I love the man. It's great.
I mean, he's
Don't
a
be
stalwart.
cruel.
He's a
Don't
stalwart.
be cruel. He is. Just
All right. Well, the man, the myth, and the legend, Lord Walker, gracing us with his presence.
yay.
There he is.
There he is. Oh, man. Look at that setup.
Yeah. Got my
Oh man, is that an old school
Andy on.
kit?
yeah, I got my
That's
little
fresh.
retro on.
Super fresh. I went retro as well.
I see that. I like it. I like it a
Yeah,
lot.
thank you.
The old school Irish jersey.
Digging that out of my dad's closet.
That's nice.
Real retro, bought in 91.
Oh wow, that is.
Adam and I were talking before the show, so I've had this jersey since I was 9 years old.
And
I'm
still-
5'11". I'm 5'11", 205 pounds.
I know.
How does this fit me?
know.
I really enjoyed big clothes, I guess, as a youth. I don't know, but it's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Got my Carlsberg champions.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Love a good Carlsberg.
All the signatures
came-
and everything.
He came fully loaded
Fully loaded
for this matchup. He is not happy sitting in second place right now.
Ha! Yeah. Everything. All things are temporary.
I was going to say.
Very.
It's
Extremely.
yeah, obviously tomorrow we got the big one. We got Man U, Liverpool. Man U first time in first place in January since 2013.
Yeah.
It's It's been a while.
A long
And I
time.
know some people are like, love to see the old Manchester United actually being good. And I'm sure some like you, Lord Walker, seeing Liverpool and your boys in second. But again, to me, it's still Liverpool's title to lose.
I think you're right about that. I'm not trying to be, a braggart, but I definitely believe that you're right about that. It's hard to be humble, but I think that this squad has the talent and it definitely has the coach for sure to get him over the top. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. I was really looking forward to talking with you guys because this squad is so set up to win this league. However, the injuries alone have really brought them down and made this a competitive table this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a weird season. I mean, everybody's, we were talking about Villa catching the COVID situation now.
Right.
And they only played 15 games. So now it's like their schedule is even more condensed to try and make up all these games and fit it in before whatever May, I guess they're probably trying to finish the season, at least keep it on track for the most part and not let it go into June where now you're running into hopefully the Euros. I don't even know if the Euros will even go on this year again.
Yeah, it's a good question.
I mean,
it's so hard now that they're trying to play catch up. It's so hard to really get it all together. I mean, the Olympics,
mm-hmm.
A lot of different things, a lot of different competitions are really in jeopardy. But that is interesting that you brought up that point though, because one thing I really haven't been. We've seen in the NBA, and especially I know we have a Knicks fan on here, but Sixers fan. We had a little catch of COVID that hit our team, and the NBA decided, oh well, this team can have this game postponed, but this team won't. And the Prem has done the same thing, where they've shown some preferential treatment towards some teams, where they're like, oh well. We'll postpone your match, but yet other teams that are dealing with COVID, they don't, and it's like, unfortunately, it's not a great thing to say, but hey, maybe you have to forfeit the game, or maybe you have to figure out something. But to have all these games in hand, like Manchester City has games in hand now, Man U has games in hand, all these different games in hand really really helps them because it helps them get healthy, helps them get the time together to really bring the squad together. And here we are. Second place.
Yeah. Villa definitely need to figure something out because it's not just them. The teams that they have to make up games with now have to play an extra game in their already condensed schedule later on. So they have to continue to make games up to these other teams with them. So it's kind of a mess, but hopefully I've made suggestions and we laugh at it, but
hey,
I really put them in a bubble for 2 weeks and make them play all the games they need to play to catch everything up so everybody's at the same level and then go from there.
I'm going to give you a real suggestion. Being someone that worked for FIFA, being someone that if you were to bring that up, I'd probably be the person answering that question, or at least showing or telling someone, directing it to someone that would be able to answer that question. Because FIFA does answer questions as in if you have something or something you want to share with them, or as long as it's not crazy, they'll answer you. So you should pop them an email.
Maybe I will. They always say it never hurts to ask. I've learned that a lot in my life.
It doesn't.
There's a lot of things that I've gotten that if I didn't ask, I would have never known. And so,
right. Then you'd be in a press conference, and they could be calling you up to get more specifics on.
I keep telling them There's a lot of different jobs that I'm still looking for that Watford job, bro. I keep telling them that's a great PR move.
Yeah.
For them, and I guarantee I'll get them back to the Prem.
Yeah.
Just give me a little bit of money. I just need a little bit of money. I'll get somebody. Troy Deeney will score goals for me. I promise you.
You'd be boys with Troy.
I will motivate Troy. Troy's my guy. Troy's my kind of guy.
First bit of business, you sell off Ismaila Sarr, get some money for him.
Right to Lord Walker in Liverpool.
There you go. Perfect.
There
You solve your money situation and you help a fellow friend out.
Fellow Red.
Red. Well, speaking of the Reds, I mean, what do you think about this match tomorrow? You feeling good? You feeling a little nervous? What's the feel?
The feel is, to be honest with you, there's so many components to the reason why I have some trepidation for going into this game. And the reason being, again, with injuries, with, COVID, with the way the players have had to, adjust and move with things. Now, I'll be honest, Klopp said something that he's getting hammered again by the press and by some, these.
I was waiting for it.
People, that he came out and he mentioned about how Man U gets calls, a lot of calls,
Mm-hmm.
and whether it's just penalties, they get a lot of calls, and he was just pointing it out, and that's something that needs to be brought up because realistically, that's something that you have to do in the league. Whether it's Mourinho saying, Mourinho, for instance, brought up his antics on the sideline when Tottenham played. The very next game, who gets a yellow card? Klopp.
Mm-hmm.
These things happen, and I'm not saying he's Alex Ferguson, because Alex Ferguson used to play, Sir Alex, I should say, crazy mind games. Okay, crazy mind games. And
you have to sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, every top master, like a master class style coach or manager, they do it. They play the Jedi mind tricks, and they work. Sometimes, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, sometimes they backfire big time.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happened to me with my Sunday team. I made really good friends with the ref like an hour and a half before the game. We had all these mutual acquaintances. He's telling me his whole life story, how he played with Lazio and how somebody ruined his career. Oh, I forget who he told me. One of the grumpy pundits, actually. From what's it called? Satellite radio. From Sirius XM Satellite, when one of the guys that does that show, actually when they were younger, pulled him down and ruined his career. And I'm going into this game and I'm like, guys, we're gonna be set. Like, this dude loves me. Da, da, da. You know what? He used that for the advantage. Every time he made a bad call, he thought he was my buddy, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, pal." Like, da, da, da. Like, so he made 5 bad calls. He called 2 pens, and we lose 3-2. And he's like, after the game, he's like giving me a hug. He's like, "It was really nice meeting you, man." I'm like, sitting there like, I want to call you an asshole, and I can't because we're friends now. Like, yeah.
Right.
So he used it on me. He used the Jedi mind trick, knowing that. He did. He got me, and I'll never make that mistake again as a manager.
You, boy.
He did. He got me good. I'll remember him. Yep.
You're dead to me.
We definitely need something because a lot of the things this year, 2020 alone, has been a crazy year. Here stateside or across the pond, it's been a crazy time around the entire world. And Manchester U, Man U is definitely in form right now, and that's what's scary about it is that you despite the distractions, you have Pogba playing finally well, or moving on from the distractions that he was causing, and you have Rashford still playing great soccer. Martial needs to get fit, but I still think he's an excellent player. Obviously you have Bruno, who's been consistent, and that's been the only a major reason why they're even consistent this year. So there's a lot of things that definitely I would say concern me, but at the same time I know that they're coming to the fortress, and and I think that these soldiers are going to hold it down. I think these red soldiers are going to hold it down.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm still not sold on Man U. I said that earlier in the show. I'm still not sold. I think Liverpool is going to be much more prepared. I mean, Liverpool's played in a bigger game, like big games like this before, and I think that just that advantage alone. And Klopp's a better manager than Ole for sure. So there's a lot of things that are, I think, stacked in Liverpool's favor. But I just think the more experience in big games like this tilts towards Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean this to me it's probably the biggest rivalry in the sport, if not one of. If it's definitely, and even though it hasn't been meaningful of late, it's always one of those games where it's a monster rivalry game. So it's awesome now to have one that's actually meaningful. Yeah. I know it's a little more stressful when you're a fan of one of the two. Yeah, it's nicer when you're just clearly the better team and you've been rolling through them over the last few years. Yeah. But we always talk about it's great for the sport to have this rivalry game actually have meaning. At the end of the day tomorrow, this game's going to determine who's in first place of the league going forward for the second half of the season. So, one thing low key,
Yankees Red Sox. That's the easiest comparison I would say. Despite the fact that the Red Sox are owned by the same ownership group, but still, it's the Yankees Red Sox in the rivalry that it creates or presents.
It's just such an old rivalry too. Just so much history behind it.
Absolutely.
Just forever. So, one thing I was going to mention on the United side, low key too, because we were talking about transfers and stuff. One move that I think no one's really talked about, and I think the kid's pretty good, and it could be interesting, is they brought this Diallo kid in, the Ivorian winger from Atlanta. That could be a low key, nice little move for them. I talk about all the time, even with this whole Chelsea thing right now, it's not always that huge name and that big dollar spent that puts your team to the next level where you want to get at. Sometimes it's that just one role player that you're missing. This kid can get up and down the field. How fast that team plays over there. And, the game's changed. The game the game's always been the two things the Premier League's always been about are power and speed. Mm-hmm. And that's why some players just, I don't think, always translate here. Kai Havertz is having a struggle. Bye-bye, Mesut. It was time again. You haven't been here since I got to say goodbye to him, so bye-bye, Mesut.
You said you're going to say that every, 20 minutes, so there you go.
Every 20 minutes or so. It's sad, again, but he had no power. He had no speed. It's time to go bye-bye. I loved you. Great career. Go back home, sip your Turkish coffee, enjoy your happy little life.
Can't do that, brother. You got to do it well. I mean, he brought you a lot of good memories.
Listen, I know, and I was being a jerk about it. He's brought me a lot of good memories. I'm a huge German soccer fan.
Right.
That World Cup, he was integral. He was an integral part in that World Cup. He was, I get it, but he did this.
We all get older, though. That's the thing, man. We all get older.
It's not a matter of getting older. It's a matter of showing some kind of self-respect and class. You're that talented of a player getting paid that much money, and your work ethic is that bad that 3 different managers can't get you in there anymore, that this new manager doesn't even pick you for the 25 for Europa or Premier League. you can't even get picked in that, and you're supposed to be a world-class number one top player. Like, it was just like that. That's on you. Like, you did something at some point to stop working hard and caring about this game like you say you do.
No, because you could say the same then for Carson, and I don't.
I do. Don't get me started. The wrong show. Don't get me started because I will say the same thing about soft-minded mentalities.
Wow.
Whoa.
Man. Wow.
Whoa.
He's got World Cups, man. How could you say that?
It doesn't mean that you are mentally tough.
You can't.
Just because
all this slander of a legend at the club. Come on.
Listen.
Tough. I mean, sometimes the exit period is a tough thing. You know, I know that there was a conversation that Rafa had with Steven Gerrard, and basically when we were looking to when he was looking to make a transition possibly and move on, and, you know, there was a little uncertainty as to what direction the club was going to go and deal with. And he was starting to get, you know, he was getting to that age where if he's going to make the move, it was then and there. And, you know, Rafa said to him, like, hey, you can go to another team, you can go to another place, but you're a legend here. You can go. I mean, David Beckham, you know, went to Real Madrid. He's not a legend at Real Madrid. He's known, like, as in spite of the fact he's known all over the world and everything else, and there's all different things. His biggest claim to fame was really when he was at Man U, you know, and like that's where he really made his bread and butter. And if he had stayed there, he would have been worldwide legend, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and it goes with one of my favorite players, one of the players that brought me into loving Liverpool, which is Michael Owen.
Mm-hmm.
He has such a hard time these days with Liverpool fans and Man U fans, even some Newcastle fans. You know, like there's that hatred towards him because, hey man, there's pictures of Steven Gerrard and Michael Owen and, like, you know, as teenagers, you know, together, and here he is playing for the Devils, you know, like that's just out of the world crazy. So sometimes I think it just comes down to you got to have the right coach or right manager to motivate that player and keep them focused and bring out the best.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, I'm rooting for his success back in Turkey. You know, he's going back to the country, his native country. Everybody knows he plays for Germany. You know, he was able to have dual citizenship, which a lot of guys do in this sport. A lot of people, you know, that don't know the sport, maybe not understanding that. But he is Turkish.
Yeah.
It's the team that he grew up as a child rooting for. I mean, the guy deserves that, and I wish him nothing but the best. I actually was kind of hoping he would come to the MLS, and we'd be able to get people back in the seats, and I'd be able to go watch him play in person.
Do you really think Ozil would bring people to the seats?
I just meant get people in the seats, like as we were actually allowed to be allowed into the seats.
I mean,
I would go to. He would bring me to a seat.
Right.
He'd bring me.
Yeah, he'd bring you to a seat. But, I mean, possibly you're kind of dropping some hate on him. But
well,
you know, like,
this is you have to understand. It's not even a hate thing. It's just a long time coming of frustration, and like again, he's brought me some of my happiest moments in this sport. Right. On the level of being a German soccer fan, not as an Arsenal fan.
Mm-hmm.
He would not.
He's stolen a paycheck. I get it. Like he did. He gave you like what 2 good years? 2. Like you got to give me more than 2 good. Like you got to give more than 2. You can't come out with like. But think about it.
A lot of slander. I hear.
Disappointed. I wanted to see my. I talked to a lot of my Gunner friends to come on and watch the show today because I was talking about how we have one of the biggest Gunner fans that you'll come across
and German soccer fans, and this is what you're getting because, listen, I said it the other day, and I'm gonna coin this phrase. I'm telling you, this is where we're at because this is where we were brought to.
That's what I was trying to get at, man. That's exactly what I was getting. The managers that he has been under have not been the right managers to keep him engaged, to keep him motivated, to keep him to be that player that is going to show the quality that you saw when he plays with Germany. Because Germany has the same level of talent, if not better, I would say probably better than Arsenal slightly, but certainly on that level of talent, world talent. If he's giving it to Germany, why can't he give it to Arsenal? Because he's getting paid to be at Arsenal. He's not getting paid really to be at Germany the same, at least not the same amount that he's getting paid for being Arsenal. Comes down to the manager.
It's the manager, and some guys just their games don't translate, and they're not comfortable in certain situations. And you see honestly, you see it a lot. A lot of German players of high quality, this game doesn't translate to the Prem. It's a different kind of game. A lot of high quality Spain players, games don't translate to the Prem. It's a different kind of game. It's a more footy passing kind of game where it's not just power and speed. And that's where I was coming from the beginning of the power and speed aspect of it is just you have to be careful when you're bringing these guys in. They're phenomenal players. I'm not taking anything away from any of theirs. Kai Havertz is a phenomenal soccer player. He is one of the greatest soccer players. Technically, he looked great. He looks, he's a nice up and coming player.
Did you just say greatest player?
No.
I just want to make sure.
I wouldn't even say that.
No, don't take it that way. But you know what I mean? Like he's one of the I was saying one of the greatest like young players like in this little class of like 20-year-old guys of recent. He's
the best upcoming players. I would say.
Right.
Not
Right.
great.
Yes. Sorry. Greatness is a bad word. Yes. Yes. Poor wording. Poor wording. Thank you. Yes. Poor wording. But he is a very good up and coming player. He has a lot of potential. He has a lot of talent, but his game might not translate to this league. There's a lot of guys whose games just don't translate to this league.
Remains to be seen, but I get what you're saying.
Come on, man. That's harsh, dude. That's really harsh. It's just harsh. One, it's harsh because we're talking about, and this goes to your poll question, we're talking about Bayern Munich, which is basically Bayern Munich Champion League practice league, I call it, or something along those lines, basically, because it's just a warm-up for their entry into the Champions League every year. You realize that the Bundesliga, they've won the Bundesliga 30 times. And out of the closest team to them was when East Germany was around, okay, with 10 wins, okay, or 10 titles. That's crazy when you got to refer to the Berlin Wall. It's the last time someone had a team on the level of Bayern Munich. Okay, so when you deal with like the German, I'm not saying that no German players are great that come out of there. You're one of my favorite players, Mertziger, right? That's how you say the last name, right? Mertziger?
Yeah, Mertesacker.
Mertesacker.
Mercer,
whatever. Yeah. The original Lurch. Yeah. He is easily a defender that was a top defender type deal, and he's not set for the Prem speed. I mean, he's a big guy and he's kind of oafy, but he's solid and he's really really good player. He reminds me of like a better Maguire, I would say.
More under control Maguire.
Yes, exactly. A more under control Maguire, and that's what you get. But that Bundesliga is not a real league. I say it's not a real league, but it's just a practice league, man. I know because your Dortmund has 5 titles.
It's that
5 titles.
Well, again, this goes back to it doesn't help when Dortmund sells their best players to their Bayern.
That's why Klopp left.
Doesn't make sense. You're not helping yourself at all.
Yeah.
They've won 8 in a row.
Exactly.
Like,
And if I'm going to develop all this great young talent and never see it blossom into these Lewandowski style like players, why am I in that league?
It is. It's a developmental league. That's
developmental leave.
That's why you see guys there go on loan. Yeah.
Right. I don't want to diss German league, like as in, and I'm not trying to say anything.
It's like a step above MLS. Honestly, I feel like you go from,
whoa.
Whoa, shots fired.
Well, no, but I mean, think about it. You take.
I think your visa's just been revoked to Germany, dude.
You go MLS.
Oh, that's tough.
Then your next step is like a Bundesliga, and then you know that you're not going. There's guys skipping. There's guys skipping the Bundesliga, and they're going to Serie A now. They're going to the Prem. Like, hey,
I would love.
It's not far off. It's not. Guys are making that. That's the next jump. Like it's the reality of it. It's. There has to be some pecking order, and Bundesliga is not La Liga. It's not the Prem, and it's not Serie A. And
but look at this last transfer period. How many of the top transfers were from Germany? I mean, Adam, you can attest to that, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it's such a weird situation because these players are coming in from Germany that have exceptional talent that definitely have promise, but are they going to be able to just fit right in to the Premier League? It's tough, really tough. There's very few that I've seen recently do it, that I'm excited about. But I could tell you one player I'm excited about that has done it and is going to be doing it, and that's Thiago. And I think that that's where we're really going. That's one player though. And he's not a youth. He's not someone up and coming or something like that. He's an established player.
Yeah.
But I really think that I'm looking for him to be the difference in this game. That's my at least putting into the universe. I gave your boy a goal. I gave your boy a goal that day. No one was calling Lacazette.
That's true.
Yeah, you did. You did.
I would say that I think Thiago's going to do well this game, and I actually see him scoring a goal, which is something that we haven't seen yet, really. And I also see him definitely delivering some link passes and some great possibly assists. And it's going to be a difference. It's going to be a real difference. Our biggest thing is if Matip's going to be back or not. That's a question for if we can get Matip back and he's conditioned well enough to be able to play a full 90, then I'm more confident in our ability.
Yeah.
Do you see them adding any defensive help here before this window's closed? We know again it's not a big movement window usually, but
right.
Do you see them bring we were talking last week? Some kind of veteran help, just another body, something.
Yeah. Well, today I did read that they're back on the Traore tip again. That's still $35-45 million signing. It's tough. I mean, at least it's back down. I think originally they were looking at like 60 to 70 million for him, which is absurd.
Mm-hmm.
Considering he comes off the bench for them.
It's come back down to earth a little bit.
Right. I would like to see possibly Dayu to come to the team. That'd be great. He's.
Oh yeah.
He's your squad actually, Adam, has entered the running for him now, which is very interesting. I don't know if you saw that or read that, but
Dayo Upamecano from Leipzig.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
He's a hot name now. He's this year for this transfer. And
he's that big physical center back that you love.
Yeah, and he's young. He's young, and that's the upside of it is that you're not looking for someone that's going to be a barn burner or something, because he's not like an amazing goal scorer or something crazy like that. But he is a solid player, and he's the hot name, right now. but I'd like to see him sign that. But that's not, again, that's a $50 million transfer.
Yeah.
In the summertime, it drops to $40 million, which is a little bit of a discount. Maybe they could pop in some. They've done deals like that before where they sign a player, but they sign them now, but then they get him in the summer.
Right.
Deal.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that Leipzig would give him up in the middle of the season, not if they're trying to push for a title.
Yes, exactly. And then there's Ibrahima, kind of his last name, Konate, I think it's pronounced, Konate, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the other one. Yeah,
another Red Bull player, and he plays Trent's spot as a right back. Now, again, I'm looking. I was really excited to be able to talk to you guys about my Liverpool team because I know Trent's been getting a lot of flack lately.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a great game. He's been subbed in and out. I'll be honest with you. Again, this is what I track back to is that COVID is a serious thing. You notice that the players that have had COVID have had fitness issues going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And getting back that fitness level is not an easy thing. And we're still learning more about how it affects people, how it's going to be possibly something that you got to kind of live with, like maybe like allergy style stuff. But if we did sign him, that'd be nice because that means I foresee that meaning that they're going to move Trent up to the midfield, and that means that they allow for Ginny to go and get his deal because I know he's asking for decent money. There is an offer on the table for him, so that means that he's looked at the offer and it's a reasonable offer, and he's looked at the offer and said, well, I'm going to use this as a bargaining chip to see if I can get more from other teams.
Some leverage.
A little leverage. And I can't hate him for doing that. He's been our Iron Man this year. And I respect it and appreciate everything about him. So, I'm interested to see if we make any moves, but I'm not expecting. I'm keeping my expectations low, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to make too much noise, I would say. I mean, they have some young kids that they can plug in there, don't they?
They do. I still have a high upside opinion on Reece.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Phillips is still a really good player that has some serious promise as well. Obviously, we have a couple other players that aren't seeing much time. They're more on getting either more like practice squad, I guess we say.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing Klopp did this break or not the break. It's like this is the longest. It's how bad it is. You're talking about truncated seasons. This is the longest period we've had between games. That's 7 days. That's something where it's like, really, usually that's how it goes normally,
Mm-hmm.
And this
right. Maybe a cup game here, maybe something there, but yeah, for the most part,
it's the longest break, and this is like become like the closest thing to a winter break for us that we've had, and this game coming up against Man U is going to be big, especially because it's huge for both teams. I'm not going to lie. But we getting the FA Cup draw against them for next week as well. Actually, it's pretty cool. It's on my birthday, so hopefully I get a present on that.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, for us having them on the 17th and then having them again on the FA Cup 24th, that's a revenge game set up for a revenge game like anything. And that's where this game is going to really make a difference as to who has the momentum, who's really going to put that hammer down. And that's why I'm going to say something bold, not trying to say because I'm trying to be a jerk, not because I'm just super confident or braggadocious, but I'm hoping and looking for the high fives I'm looking for a high fives, as in like something like a 4-0 or a 5-0 type match in this game. Just really send a period. And you don't see those games too often. And this game being as big as it is usually you see 2-1, 3-1, maybe something along those lines, or a 2-2. A lot of people have been picking 2-1, 1-1 draw. Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, Liverpool, but aside from that 7-0 game that they had, they haven't been really like scoring and putting too many teams like burying them like 4 or 5-0 like they were last year.
No, I'm not. I would. They're due. They're definitely due. I mean, they broke out in Crystal Palace, which was a great game to break out on. They had the game in Champions League where they broke out, and that was like jokes. That's a big coming out party. But yeah, I would want to see something like that level, and I think that Klopp is going to really press for that type of result. And what I was trying to bring up earlier was with that 7-game break, or 7-day break, excuse me. He was able to play 11 on 11s, and he actually was able to really focus on not only training and getting fitness up, but also getting Thiago and these other players that he's had to like substitute and move around to really understand their roles and figure out how we can go forward until we can get maybe a transfer, or maybe one or two of our players solidly healthy and fit. And I think that'll be a huge difference going into the latter half of this table.
Yeah, I mean, when are they expecting Jota back?
It's been a while. I know they originally it was supposed to be a month-long process. I think it's been a little bit longer than a month now. That could be good, that could be bad. I mean, but I also know that considering the amount of injuries we've had, I'm sure they're kind of like, taking their time with bringing him back. The same way I'm not exactly 100% confident Matip's going to play, simply under the pretense that, I can't have him get injured again, and he's not exactly the most, reliable player when it comes to staying away from injuries.
Yeah, you got a lot of big games coming up, so it's where this one's monstrous as well. There's a lot of other things that are still going to be going on, and a lot to play for still. Yeah,
there is a lot, and I would like to say also that, not trying to underscore, not trying to again diss Man U fans. I know there's one knock like cockroaches, but anyway.
Cockroach.
Yeah, cockroach. But they're not the team I'm worried about for Manchester is still Man City. Man City, despite their early form and issues, are really starting to put it together.
They're right at your door.
Yeah.
And that's the team I'm looking at being a better or a more scary competition for us to compete for the top. Because if they get in form, we've seen Man City put a run of like 7, 8, 9, 10 wins in a row or something along those lines. And that's where, if you're not winning, then, or if you're drawing as much as we are, you can't deal. You can't keep pace. You just can't keep pace. And this is one of the first times I think in a while you're not going to see a 90-plus winner of the league.
Talk about those draws. Those draws really hurt you, especially when it's to teams that you're not supposed to be drawing.
Right, I understand that. I mean, that might be the Premier League once again trying to.
Oh yeah, no, I talk about it with Arsenal. That's the difference between Arsenal half the times making a top 4. Yeah. This was the first year in a long time they've ever even that they've ever finished out of the top 6. So they're always there. But even those 5-6 years, it's usually a lot of unnecessary draws against teams that you should be getting 3 points. And when you go back and do the math, that's always what seems to keep that's that one difference.
Yeah.
You have to win those games. Like even this past week, Arsenal drawing Crystal Palace. Like they were on a nice little run. They were starting to bounce back, starting to show us something. And then you pull a snoozer like that, like that's gonna hurt you. Like that's why you're in a team sitting in 11th right now.
Yeah.
You can't draw those games.
Yeah. I mean, there is a stat. I wanted to make sure I had it right. There's a stat though where since football restarted in June, right? Last season, since last season was completed, United have received 18 penalties in all competitions. 18.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Liverpool has 6. That's the penalties. And
You're preaching to the choir.
Oh, yeah.
We're always on that.
Michael Owen said something that was really telling and poignant too. He talked about the number of penalties that are being called this year. Okay, there's no way that. Nice. What's up, Tom? There's no way that any record is safe. I mean, I think it was something along the lines of like I want to say 14. I want to definitely. I want to definitely make sure I get my stats correct. But I believe it was like 14 penalty kicks that Bruno has had to take alone.
Oh yeah.
That's 14 goals basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So yeah. So let me ask you that, not to interrupt what you're talking about, but real quick, it's perfect. I brought this up last week. I talk about it all the time. Do you think it's fair that golden boot races include PKs? Do you think that's like I say I've always said no. I say I don't think that should be PK should be a separate category. Total goals, yeah, but like golden boot, like I don't know. It's just to me that's not right. That PKs are included.
I get you're absolutely right with saying something on those lines, but I'm also, I think we talked about this before too, is that I'm not really into having the designated penalty taker. I always think that if you're the one that drew the penalty, you should get to shoot the penalty. Like you were the one that was about to score, and now all of a sudden, okay, Mane's coming in. He gets his leg held by the Newcastle. Oh yeah, that's right. That wasn't called. But hypothetically, if it was called,
got that in there.
Hypothetically, if it was
right
called,
on topic.
Hypothetically, if it was called, then Salah's coming to take it. And I mean, like that alone is really why I'm saying that needs to be a real difference in how you take that approach. But that's a coaching decision.
Yeah.
Milner
it worked for West Brom today.
Yeah, I mean, when Milner's in for Liverpool, he's the designated penalty taker because he's money,
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same things like technical foul shooters. It's just you don't.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't. But like, it was a good timing to.
No, I know. I get that.
Yeah, Brian's strongly against that. He's going to die on that hill of PK should not count towards Golden Boot.
I just wanted Danny Ings to win Golden Boot last year. Damn it, that's all. And he would have.
It should count. If it goes,
Danny Ings would have won. Danny Ings would have won Golden Boot hands down if you take PKs out of it last year.
Whoa, yeah, he would have. And not only that, again, Michael Owen sides with what you were saying. Michael Owen has said something very similar to what you have said, and that's something that is considerable. I mean, because he's one of the top was one of the top scorers. He's one of his life.
I feel in great company now.
Yeah, no, it was a really
great mind. Think alike.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, the only difference is Bruno doesn't draw his penalties. He just takes them. Jamie
just eats them all up. Yeah.
Jamie Vardy, on the other hand, at least draws most of his, probably over half of the PKs he actually takes.
Absolutely.
He draws. That's the only
He
difference.
does. I'm never taking anything away from Vardy. I'm just a Danny Ings guy. And
I know
really, I was pulling for him on the final day. He had such a good run last year, and but I've had this stance before that too. I've always thought that. I feel like, and I've said it a million times too. Don't get it twisted. Like, making a PK is not an easy task.
No,
like, people see that and they're just like, oh, well, that's a guaranteed goal. No, it's not an easy thing to just step up there and make that shot every single time. So there's a lot that goes into that too, but there's still, to me, anyway. We'll move on. We don't have a lot of time left.
Point to what you're saying. What you're saying, as a former goalie too, I think that they should be more rigid with how, because if a goalkeeper moves an inch or two, or they'll call it back. Because, for instance, Bruno missed an important goal penalty, and it was because the goalkeeper was slightly off his line by a millisecond or two, right?
Yeah.
So you're not, quote unquote, allowed to stop, when you approach the ball. And there's penalty takers that sometimes do that. And Bruno with his hop, and I think Jorginho, he doesn't take him anymore. I'm not sure.
He's a big hopper. That's his thing.
He took one recently again.
Yeah, and then he missed, right? Didn't he miss like two?
Yeah.
Or like back to back?
Jorginho can go to hell for all I care.
He won me a fantasy week early in the year, though, with 2 PKs in one game. So the one he took from out of Tammy's hand and started a little controversy.
Yeah. Exactly.
That started my go to hell, Jorginho.
I played him that week. In my midfield because I had injuries.
And that's what I go back to saying. Tammy should have shot. Tammy was in his right to pick up that ball and want to go to the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely wanted to go and take that. It's hard enough to get in there. Obviously everybody wants to get paid. So, and most times, the biggest thing that you're going to see as being the determinant is goals. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's no easier way to get it than, putting it on that spot and trying to take it, trying to, check out a goalie, picking a side that the goalie doesn't pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your score prediction for the Liverpool?
We want an official. Everybody. We should all go official.
We'll go around the room and say. I'll start with the Reds fan yourself. What do you think?
Well, I was going to say you could probably come last because I really have been starting to go towards not picking little totals because they end up sometimes to bite me in the butt. But
that's why we trust me, we know all about that.
Right?
We got away from that a little bit because I don't care who you are and what you know and everything. You try to pick soccer games week in and week out, especially in the Premier League, you're going to drive yourself bonkers.
Yeah, you might as well just play Powerball. You have a better chance sometimes.
Yeah, for real.
It's absolute.
But for the sake of the show, we're picking it anyway. So
I'll do it. Like I'll stick with what I said earlier. I was going with 4-0, but got my fingers crossed for the high fives. So I'll stick with 4-0.
Yeah, go hard. Why not?
Why not?
There's nothing at stake. Yeah.
That way, it's nothing at stake. Hey.
Yep.
Right.
Full support.
I look like Nostradamus.
Yeah.
Nostradamus. I wouldn't even. I'd say more like 2-0 Liverpool.
Okay.
I don't think they'll score 4. That would be great, though. I would see nothing more that would make me happy. Besides the Chelsea win today, would see a Liverpool just dismantling of United.
Absolutely. I think, yeah.
That would make a lot of people very happy.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of a jerk today to Mezit.
Kind of.
I've been kind of a jerk today to a few people. So why not continue the trend? And why not say with everything that we've talked about, And why would things change? Why aren't we going to get one bad VAR call against Liverpool? Why aren't we going to get one bad penalty call against Liverpool in favor of Man United? And we're going to get a 2-2 draw.
Oh, draw card.
Wow.
In this game. And Liverpool will get them back later on the road at Old Trafford when it matters later in the season to win the league. But right now, Man U will hold on another week in first place, and they'll each get a point. And we need more drama because that's what I want, because it'll just make for better shows.
The parody.
I think Philly Sports Passion 85 has it right. It's just the W's coming. The W's coming. You gotta realize.
It is.
You gotta realize this is Anfield.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, Eric's a fellow Liverpudlian.
Yes. Yeah, that's Eric. That's Eric J.
Yes. I'm looking for a nice win.
I just had to do it. It was going with the theme of today, and
Liverpool's going to play Wayne Brady in the Dave Chappelle skit. We're gonna pull up on Man U and say, no, I won't go into the
honestly, you know, I hope that does happen.
Yeah.
Because there's certain teams that I won't bring myself to root for ever.
Absolutely. Prem needs it. And why I think that your point is right is that we will see a bad call, but I believe that because Klopp said what he said.
I know that's what you're hoping. I know.
That might have them go and say, oh, he goes to VAR. He doesn't go to VAR to check it or something, or they do go to VAR and they reverse it. That's something that I could see happening simply because of the comment and the sheer fact that, let's be honest, Man U they get way too many calls. Way too many calls.
Yeah.
So.
Bruno says, I don't care. That's what Bruno said to Klopp. I don't care.
Oh, of course.
I don't care.
He's scoring goals. He don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Bruno's already a legend he's already a legend for that squad. And that's scary.
Isn't that great? Of a team, of a legendary team, and he has made that big of an impact. It's crazy.
Yes. New haircut. Yep.
Fresh.
Yep.
Sheena.
Yeah.
That's what we like to see.
I like it.
Your haircuts. I guess
we always get a great comment like towards the late in the show. We haven't got our Cowboys comment yet. I've been waiting for it.
I know that damn troll. I forget his name.
Cockroaches will come out, I'm sure, at one point or another.
It's like, go Cowboys. Like, bro, wrong show.
Yeah.
Wrong show. And then he gives us, I love you guys. I know. I'm just kidding. I guess.
Did you guys do your U.S. men's national team yet? Or did you guys talk about abroad yet?
We said a little bit, like, I mentioned, like, Aronson making his first appearance for Salzburg, and he actually scored in a friendly they played.
I wanted
about McKenzie, but nothing really besides those two.
I wanted to wait till after this transfer window because it looks like a few more guys are going to Europe. So I want to pick a team. I want to do pick a full, what my team would be if I had to get to coach.
I know it sucks. I wanted to do a combined 11 with you guys for this matchup with the Man U and Liverpool, but what I did want to say though about the U.S. men's national teams is that I did have someone that I wanted to give a big shout out to, and that was Matthew Hopp. I don't know if you mentioned him or not.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah.
He had a 19-year-old, had a great game, broke the 30. I think they were 30 games, 30-game winless streak for Schalke.
Yeah.
They were very bad.
Was on Team of the Week I believe. Made squad of the week. And he scored a hat trick.
Mm-hmm.
He scored a hat trick. Huge, and that's cool. I'm not trying to blow up his spot and say, oh, he's the next coming of Messi or anything like that. But he is. That was great. 19-year-old. It's always good to see because we have so much talent abroad these days.
It's crazy.
It's so great to see. And actually, he's playing on one of my friends' former teams. Jermaine Jones used to play on Schalke. So, I was happy to see that, and I'm sure he was happy as well. And, kind of DM'd him about that. But yeah, it was a good week for a lot of players. I mean, McKennie had another goal. I'm trying to go. And the sheer fact that Serge is starting in Barca. He's not getting full 90s, not getting that, but he's starting, which is huge.
Yeah.
And the last player that you guys got to give props out to, since we're going real quick. I know we're at the marker, but Stefan. And I don't like to say that. I wish he wasn't. I wish he said that. His problem.
That's what we're saying. It's not good that he's on City and playing well, but it's definitely
good that he's on City and playing well. Yeah.
Great that he's on City playing well. He's on one of the top teams in how many? I could not have said this 20 years ago. I could not have said the number of players that are getting not only starting time, but substantial playing time in the top leagues.
Yeah. Impact players.
Yeah, exactly. Juventus, you're playing on Barca, that's huge.
Yeah.
Man City again,
Yeah, I pulled up for me, I pulled up the roster of that game against Panama. And you look at that's the team. That's the team you go forward with outside of there's a few little tweaks here and there. We really need to figure out who's the striker of this team. That's a big question mark. There's a lot of guys that are in the running for that position. But that's why I like seeing him get that hat trick too, because there's just another name now. Throw him into the pool too. You can put the ball in the net. I don't care who you are. Get us a solid striker, because the midfield really seems to be figured out, especially if Musa's going to stay and sign to be, with the U.S. With McKinney, Adams, you're solid there. The defense still needs a little bit of tweaking in the middle. Brooks, I like him, but he's getting a little older. And, I like Richards. I like Miazga. So you
got to give love to Owen, too.
Yeah. And McKenzie, McKenzie's
potential. I think he has a lot of potential. I love how he plays. My heart broke for him when he didn't have that game winner. He got subbed late, and he had that one that hit the crossbar and woodwork and went over. Man, that would have been great for him. And I think he's got a lot of potential. Definitely a lot of potential.
Yeah,
but
we're in a good spot. And who did we just
We got another guy to switch, that Colombian kid.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Pereira. No, the kid from Orlando just decided to not play for Colombia and go U.S. Pereira.
Really?
He did the one-time switch. They allowed him to.
Yeah, the FIFA allowed him the one-time switch, and he opted to.
Wow, that's
now.
True. He can't go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Now that's so you can't go back. You're expecting to do something. So
wow, that's great.
That's another win for U.S. soccer.
That's crazy.
Sure.
That's what it's come to. That people are soccer powerhouse countries are switching from their respective country to the U.S. to play on our national team because they see all the good potential. You saw Jose Mourinho say, "Hey, the U.S. has got some players. So you better look out for these guys in a few years."
No,
when you get the eye of the special one, come on.
No, we do.
Man,
We definitely do.
I was just gonna say how the world has changed in 30 years. That we got guys walking away from the Colombian national team coming to join ours, as opposed to getting shot coming off a plane for own goaling here.
Hey, back then they just feared. They just feared for their life.
Yeah, the quality of life. You know, the sheer fact of being able to, you know, there's a lot of things that America will provide. You know, despite the fact that I get that, you know, the MLS isn't exactly, you know, a top tier, you know, top 4, top 3, however you want to say it, league in the world. It's still not a, you know, it's not a bottom feeder league or something along those lines. And
I mean, you're seeing a lot of guys come. I mean,
you're seeing a lot of guys get picked from here.
Yeah. I mean, the academies in the MLS are gaining some really good traction and, you know, establishing themselves as legit academies.
Yeah. I go to Casa Grande again is, you know, like an hour or so south of where I live, and that's where that's the spring training spot, but they have a lot of academies that are you know, hunkered down there that play, and yeah, it makes a difference to have the ability to build up those things, to build up those squads. Youth system in America is amazing. Mm-hmm. It's often the reason why I always say, you know, why isn't soccer or football, however you want to pronounce it, not bigger here for us, and why we don't have such a, you know, perennial powerhouse of a team, you know, that competes, you know. But I think that we do well, all things considered. Again,
yes,
and it comes down to coaching.
Yeah, a lot better coaching.
Before we get out of here, there's one thing I do have to beg and plead too, talking about the MLS and transfer news and going all in today. Mm-hmm. Lucas Podolski, please don't go to Cincinnati. Like there's rumors. There's rumors. 2 teams, and like just like talk about players that I love, favorite players of all time. Just to go making moves that I can't, no, it can't happen. It can't. Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me.
And then you're gonna have to get the photo jersey.
Oh, that news popped up and I got nauseous. Please, you're better than that. Don't go there. Wow. Nobody wants to go to Cincinnati.
Luke De Jong.
Yeah.
I saw Radamel Falcao is apparently about to agree to a deal with the Timbers.
Falcao's mentioned every transfer window. He's another one. He's like, yeah, it's true.
First they said Inter Miami with Bex, and now they're saying the Timbers because Giovanni's, I forget the guy's last name, but he's a good coach. But also, the Chelsea match just kicked off.
Oh, yeah.
Giroud starting up top. That handsome bastard.
Yeah.
Pulisic, Ziyech, Mount, Jorginho, Kovacic, Chilwell, Rudiger, Thiago, and Aspie again playing right back.
Oh, okay.
What are your predictions before we get out? Can you give your predictions? I love how the Blues fan was mighty quiet about his team. Not a real peep.
He almost skipped over the fact that they're playing. You know why? Because Fulham's his little side adopted club, and he has a soft spot for Fulham, and he doesn't want to have to pick against them at Craven Cottage today. That's why.
Why would I? It's tough. I saw a game at the Cottage. I love it. It's like a little.
Can you see Lampard? Getting the axe if he loses this game.
I said this last week. If they lose that hot seat that Frankie's already on is slowly rising to like an 8. We're talking like, okay, I know they always say we're going to give him a little longer of a leash, but Roman Abramovich already has I'm sure, a replacement in his mind. He's just meddling in Russia, just like, yes, I know exactly who I want. They wanted to bring in Avram Grant to help out with Frankie.
Wow.
The former manager. So I don't know. It's almost like
they're gonna Doug Peterson them and bring in all
almost,
these assistants and give them no power and
No
just spend
power.
all this money and expect them to win with no chemistry. And
they're basically saying we don't have a lot of faith in you, so we need to bring in another set of eyes maybe to help you out a little bit since you're not playing people in their right spots. Maybe Avram Grant will be that shining light. I don't know. Maybe it's a Marty Morningwide situation and it's the stupidest move ever and it doesn't even matter. But it's also hard when your owner isn't even allowed in England. He just sits in Russia. He can't even be in the country.
Oh, wait, I thought he was in Israel. I think.
Oh, is he in Israel?
Yeah, I think he's an Israeli citizen now.
Oh, okay.
I think he
I
got
knew he was a
tired
big
of,
oil guy.
Putin's puppet or something. So,
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me one bit.
right, and I don't. Maybe he's not looking forward to getting poisoned or something. So
yeah, smart move.
you know. But
Yeah, I don't
that was
know.
interesting that you kind of glossed over. You didn't even mention. No, it's a big game. That's a big game for you.
West London Derby.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a big game. And I mean, hey,
Fulham
someone
starting
named-
that kid Lookman up top.
Man, I can't believe I passed on saying his name, but hey, I mean, Antoine Robinson, Antonio, Antoine, right? Antoine Robinson,
Anthony.
Anthony
Anthony Robinson.
Anthony. Yeah.
Oh, he's putting in a shift. He's putting in shifts at Fulham. He's playing great.
Exactly. He's a U.S. men's national team player, and he's a good player. He's played well this season. He's been one of the best.
Yeah, he's another one that.
Yeah, young player too, relatively young.
Him, Dest, and Reggie Cannon are kind of like your three rotational wingbacks, I think, for the U.S. team right now.
Would you say that one more time?
Him,
He said Reggie
Robinson,
Cannon.
Dest, and Reggie Cannon.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Reggie Cannon's played well.
Yeah.
I like the veteran leadership that Reggie Cannon would bring. And he's finally out of the MLS now too, so he's another
killing
one
it.
that's actually he's doing very well. So
Boya Vista.
I would say they're my three of my if I'm rotating my wing backs at that point.
Are you saying Yedlin out?
Dest really doesn't get rotated. It's pretty much Robinson and Cannon rotate and Dest plays all the time. So
Yedlin is a cool guy.
I love Yedlin. I love Yedlin.
Great
Yedlin.
Great guy. But yeah,
His time's up.
getting long in the tooth. You know?
Yeah,
It's-
no disrespect. I'm
No disrespect.
big Yedlin guy.
You
Yeah.
know, from someone that's long in the tooth himself. Like
I would love to see Yedlin get out of that mess that is Newcastle and just come finish in the MLS and
What if he goes back to Seattle like a homecoming?
Oh, that'd be
that'd be
cool.
dope.
That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah.
I could see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got enough in the tank to really contribute in MLS for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's been dealing with some injuries, and unfortunately, he's older and dealing with injuries. And when that happened, the kind of U.S. squad flip-flopped to a youth squad, and there was a lot of young talent at his position. And
Yeah,
it is what it is. I mean, that's sports.
yeah, that's definitely sports, and that's something that you see, but you have to really keep an eye on who you're bringing in through your youth academy. Obviously, you got to really keep an eye on who you're going to be looking to transfer for, everything else. Trying to keep a budget, the whole like in and out, like money in, money out thing when you're trying to get these transfers done, because obviously, owners are trying to make money. I mean, it's a business, so you can't hate them on that. You got to understand that. A lot of these new owners aren't fans of the game. They're fans of money.
Yeah.
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 There's the money.
Oh, trust me. I'm
looking
living
at money too. Don't get me wrong.
I'm
a fan.
I'm living with an owner that's only a fan of money and probably has never even seen a soccer ball. So,
Right. Okay.
Be nice to Stanley.
yeah. Oh, don't even. We don't have that kind of time.
I know.
We
You're
don't
gonna.
have that kind of time.
We didn't even mention, speaking of U.S. men abroad, that Florian Balogun is about to go to Leipzig, and Arsenal is going to let him walk.
Yeah.
Well,
That's another name that I was looking to bring up. Absolutely great. Yeah, Adam, for sure. And
I was like,
he brought it up in the press, said it, was thinking he's gonna get some playing time, and Arteta's still like, no.
no, dude, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like
man.
the kid. I'm sad to see him go, but he's roadblocked. Unfortunately, there's just
Well, they must value like Nketiah over him.
yeah, it's money too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is he making that great of a wage?
No, he's not. But that's what I'm saying. Like all the guys in front of him are. So there's nowhere for him. They're not going to play him over Aubameyang, Lacazette, Nketiah. Like it's just not going to happen. Unfortunately, they should. I'm not saying it shouldn't, but it just it is what it is.
Eric, you don't want Brian on your wagon because then he jinxes.
No, I bring you bad juju.
Once Bournemouth, he started rooting.
I
for
single-handedly got Bournemouth sent down just by giving them a little bit of fandom last year.
But granted, I'm the same way. I started really rooting for
you killed Nottingham Forest. Yeah.
They lost like 10 games in a row in an epic collapse last season in the championship.
Well, that's because you already had them promoted to the Premier League, and
they had to win like one game in their last like 6, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah, and they did.
And not
that's
lose,
soccer.
and
That's
not lose
football.
by 4 or 5 goals in the last game. And of course, they lose by 4 goals.
Never say never in this sport.
And then Swansea and Ryan Brewster jumps in there.
Yeah.
Which Jordan Morris to Swansea, Lord. Did you see that rumor?
Yes, I saw that too. And that's great because I'd like to see him have a real resurgence in his career. I always thought, when he got that injury, it really put a little bit of a sidestep on his path.
For sure. He played really well though this year. Actually, he bounced back.
Yeah,
and we said earlier, Swansea's sitting in second. They could be a team that would be an even bigger move if he goes and then they get promoted. And now he's playing in the Prem, so
now's the time to sell him.
Be cool to see if that goes down. Yeah,
probably its highest value because what is he? He's probably got to be 25 now, 26.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
good time. So
time to sell, but
it's
there's a lot of youth that I'm excited about. Not everyone's playing in the Prem. Not everyone's playing in Europe, and that's something that's cool. I mean, we've got some players that are playing down in South America, and playing in Mexico. So there's a lot of good stuff going on with U.S. men's national team, and I'm not the biggest fan of the current coach,
Oh, nope.
Yeah, we're not great people.
I don't know if bringing in another. If you had Mourinho, so would you take Mourinho as your coach for U.S. men's national?
We joked about that earlier.
I said, how crazy would that be? A dream scenario that Jose Mourinho, the special one, is the U.S. men's national team coach in 2026, and you get to host the World Cup. Like, who would have ever thought that, like, 15 years ago?
I would rather see it be Jesse Marsh. I'd just rather see it be Jesse Marsh.
See,
I want it, but not for Jesse's career, because he is perfect in line for the Leipzig job. Once Julian Nagelsmann leaves for the Prem or Bayern at some point, Jesse's going to slide right into the Leipzig job. Which is good now because Aronson, I want Jesse to tutor Aronson and make him a better player and make him feel more comfortable. And then he can do whatever. Jesse can go to Leipzig. But give me that 2 years helping Aronson out because, that's one of the main reasons why Aronson chose Salzburg. One, they develop great players. and 2, Jesse Marsh.
I think Philly Sports Passion has the best idea of all, which is
We just upped our transfer money real quick after guys. We're sitting on like 12 mil to buy maybe actually a decent player.
Klopp's going to win a little bit more at Liverpool and then just take the Germany job. We know that.
Well, Jurgi Love's on thin ice too.
Yeah, it's not far off.
Yeah,
He's going to be itching and smelling his butt.
Out of his nose or something.
Yeah, remember he stuck his freaking hand down his pants.
That's the nastiest thing I've ever seen. And he does it consistently. It's not like his.
Oh yeah, he's steady with it.
Eating boogers.
He's lucky he won that World Cup. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, he's definitely probably a strange bird.
All right, well we'll end it there because I gotta get rolling.
Yeah. Well,
I gotta get my little guy today. I gotta go scoop him up.
And I have to watch Chelsea hopefully win and not make me throw my laptop through my TV. If we lose to Fulham, God help me. I'm not losing.
Hey, Arsenal lost to Burnley, so just...
Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And all the old Chelsea lads and Oleana and all these guys.
Look out for that kid Lookman. I'm telling you, he's going to score today on Chelsea.
Yeah.
Well, somebody.
I like that. Good call. That's going to happen. Sorry, Adam, but that's going to happen.
Maybe we see Timo Werner score a Prem goal and not only score against League 2 teams. Yeah,
yes.
I'm calling him out. It's getting to that point.
Wow. Wow. We'll see. We'll definitely see.
We will see. But yes, thanks everybody. Thanks Lord Walker again for popping on and discussing your Reds, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
We're both rooting for Liverpool. I think most of everybody is rooting for. Anybody outside of Manchester is probably rooting. But yeah, thanks everybody for popping on and catching up with us. And enjoy your Premier League Saturday, Sunday, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yes, sir.
Sounds good.
All right. Love you guys.